You're looking at the real Legion of Doom of Xi Jinping and the Rockefeller Foundation and Gavin Newsom and all these and Keir Starmer. I mean, that's real world, folks. That's a bad man. That's a killer. I mean, just look at him. If you have any instincts just looking at him, you want to recoil. That is the thoroughbred 200 proof psychotic. That is a demon on two legs. That is El Diablo. Your gut knows it. And then you look at what he does, he's the devil. It's a frickin' Satan.
My besties in Florida, are y'all okay? No. I'm not being hyperbolic or whatever. Are y'all okay? Listen, okay? I'm getting all these videos. I mean, I'm overwhelmed.
Look at all these street lights flashing. Yo, in Florida, on the I-75, what is going on here? All these street lights flashing and the sky looking weird. There's a crazy fog mist out. Bro, and the street lights going crazy. Look at that, yo. Look, it's going all over there too.
Hold on one second. We're about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, James Williams, Dark Waters, and I'm back. And we're starting to hit upon some topics that are things that are happening simultaneously, where there's like this undercurrent in the news. And this undercurrent is the fallen angels and demons. Now, there's all these people who, they got this new UFO disclosure movie, which is coming out. And in that movie, I promise you, they're going to frame UFOs, aliens as the God of the Bible and all these other gods. That's been that narrative since the beginning. It's why I don't really pay much attention to this, because at the end of the day, everybody's still saying the same damn thing. However, I would like to see some things that they have. I know for a fact the government has footage, videos, photos of some wild stuff. I would like to see it. It wouldn't change my opinion or my faith. Now, the excuse that they use is, well, if the people knew about this, they would be afraid and it would change their faith. Not if you actually studied your Bible, you ain't going to be afraid of nothing that they're going to show you. So Anna Paula Luna is talking to Megyn Kelly, and she's talking about how there's resistance on disclosing the files about UFOs and UAPs and fallen angels. Now, this is on Megyn Kelly's show. But if you go to just type in Anna Paula Luna, you'll find her all over the place talking about the fact that she believes that they are the same thing in the book of Enoch, which is fallen angels. And it's obvious it's fallen angels. The Bible told you it was fallen angels. Socrates told you there was Atlantis, where there were people who lived under the water. All the UAPs are coming out of the water. And Dark Waters tells you keep watching the waters. Because the number one kingdom that opposes God is the marine kingdom. And that's why all the fraud is on the coastal cities, because all that money from them cities goes into the waters. But we'll get into it. Let's start with this right here. We're going to start with this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Right here. Let's go right now. We're going to hit it right here, right now.
Without having sat through the hearing or watched the latest documentary, you think, is everybody nuts? Like, are they all in on it? Is it like me? But I've heard you talk about this so many times, matter of factly on Joe Rogan and in the halls of Congress. I believe you, and I believe you believe it. And having watched this documentary, now I believe it too. Boy, if it's a lie, they got a lot of storied scientists to spew a bunch of nonsense at risk to their own careers and reputations about it. You've run the hearings. You've talked to countless guys who have been investigating this for years. What's your conclusion?
Look, we, especially from a national security perspective, want to know why it is that if these things or if whatever this is real, why is it, first of all, that members of Congress who serve as the oversight authority for the civilian arm, really the American people, are being denied access to the videos and photos of what we displayed in that hearing? Megan, Representative Burleson had that video dead dropped to him. It was scrubbed with any data that could point to who gave the information to him. But that is a confirmed real video. And as you were seeing, that is a type of footage that, unless it is basically leaked to us, we're being denied access to, specifically out of the Department of War. Now, this goes way back to last Congress, actually, when myself, Representative Gates, and Representative Burchett had actually done a field hearing following up on two whistleblowers, or a few whistleblowers that had come forward to Representative Gates' office that were pilots at Eglin Air Force Base, alleging that the U.S. government was covering this up. Of course, when you hear something like that, you're like, all right, you've seen this in sci-fi films or heard rumors about this, but never have dealt with it directly. And then basically, in a nutshell, Representative Gates, Burchett, and I went out to Eglin, and of course, they tried to cancel the meeting. We got the meeting back on. And then once we were there, we were actually denied access. We got into a massive fight with the base commander. We went in and out of the skiff. And then ultimately, without saying too much, part of how we got some of the information that we did is I actually had asked one of the witnesses to draw for me the photograph or the image of this thing that was essentially being denied to us. So they're denying us the actual imagery, but the military officer was able to actually draw it for me, of which I'm sure they didn't think that we were going to ask them to do that, but we did. And again, even dating back to my own military experience, there was one point when I was stationed at Portland Air National Guard prior to leaving active duty. And at that point in time, there was an airspace incursion that had taken place that some of the pilots had been talking about. One specifically, I said, what is this thing specifically? Are you able to describe it? He couldn't. He got kind of spooked talking about it. And that's in my opinion, he definitely ran into a UAP or saw a UAP or they're chasing one. But that is not the first time that we've had pilots in fear of losing their flight status for coming forward with this information. So I kind of started as a skeptic, but after leading into the investigations, after seeing some of the footage like you saw in that hearing, after talking to a number of people, not, people that are driving Winnebagos wearing tinfoil, but legitimate, credible people, it definitely seems real.
I'm going to share something with you that none of these paranormal investigators going to explain to you. You see, the credibility of a witness, and I always think it's funny when people be like, DW, you're going to lose your credibility because you were supporting Alex Jones over Candace Owens. You're going to lose your I'd be like, shut up. Do you even understand what credibility is? What makes a person credible? Do you understand that credibility is a floor, but people can drill holes in the floor? So there's no such thing as credibility. Anyway, let me explain something to you. So the way the psychological operation works with the UFOs, the cryptids, and all the rest of the stuff is, I know this because I was explained this. As you see, they've got it to the point where they classify the credibility of witnesses based upon their occupation. Police officers, ambulance drivers, military people, all the way down to the guy who's wearing a tinfoil hat inside of the RV. That being the lowest person. However, when you look at the hierarchy, there's more control and more information injected into the conversation at the level of military and police officer than there ever is at the level of the tinfoil hat wearing person that saw something driving down the road in their truck. You see, the psychological operation starts at the top, and people get paid at the top for the psychological operation. And so when you get information from that level, it's always the psyop. Even Anna Paula Luna talking right now, as much as I like her, is a part of a psychological operation. She don't know she a part of the operation to bring you slowly into the knowledge and understanding that there's something else out there, but she's a part of the operation. This is why I be telling people, man, don't be playing games with me when it comes to like investigating, because I've actually talked to people in high places and questioned them like, yo, this plus this don't make no sense. Oh, how did you figure that out? Well, I figured it out because it's right there in front of me. But with them, if you work with them and get information from them, you keep the hierarchy in place. You can't break their hierarchy. Military, police officers, firefighters, senators, congressmen, which they could tell you stuff, but you can't talk about it. I had them tell me stuff, but you can't talk about it. Then it goes all the way down to the regular people. Then they even had a hierarchy of based upon regional areas where there was more credibility based upon regional areas. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. But truth of the matter is, everybody talk about the Illuminati pyramid, the upside down pyramid, you know, the Illuminati pyramid. At the top of that pyramid just ain't no damn Rothschilds. At the top of this particular pyramid, when you're dealing with the UFOs, is what you would call I would call them the Dark 12. The dark body. Let's just call them the dark body. Because it morphs. Some people move in, some people move out. Just call it the dark body, who's been here for a very long time, who takes orders from the exact same thing that they're trying to expose. The exact same entities that they made deals with, fallen angels, not damn UFOs, that they're trying to expose, these people have agreements with. And so guess what? They know that there's got to be something that's said. It's just a matter of how much is said. They know there's something that has to be exposed. It's just a matter of how much is exposed. And that's across the board for everything. And if you want to expose truth as it pertains to this, because everybody's, oh, I'm into getting the truth about this. The truth is a religion now. It's crazy how the truth is the religion. But on the way to the truth, you digging up and handing out coins of lies to everybody on your way to the truth. I'm the only person to tell the truth. I tell the truth about Charlie Kirk. I tell the truth about cryptids. On the way, all you're doing is handing out fake pewter coins, talking about it's silver, and they're all lies to everybody, but you on your way searching for the truth. And that's what the problem is with this whole UFO alien thing. The truth is really simple. There was angels that fell on this planet. Those angels here for quite a long time. They built civilizations. They built civilizations that were in the waters. They built civilizations that are in the earth. They built civilizations on other planets. Point blank, period. And that's all it boils down to. And so when you engage with these entities, you're engaging with entities that have been here for a very, very long time, that have quote unquote advanced technology. And then when a greedy person, you take a greedy SOB and put him in the same room with a fallen angel that understands humans, that's manipulated humans forever, and he wants to do a deal with them. I want to have power. They said, I can give you power. Only if you hail me will I give you power. I read your mind right now. You are thinking that there is a possibility that you may be able to get over on me. I want you to know that you can never get over on me. But I am gracious and I will bless you with technologies. And these technologies and these weapons of war will allow you to dominate all of your adversaries. However, in exchange, there must be a sacrifice made to us. And you're like, the generals sitting there talking to each other, looking at each other. Can you give us a moment? Could you talk about what this sacrifice is? I want blood. Blood? What kind of blood? What kind of blood are we talking about? We're talking about goat blood, animal blood, but I want human blood. Okay. How much human blood are we talking about here? We talking about like barrels of blood? Are we talking about how often? I want blood shed often. If you take my technology from me, I will let you know how much blood went in where. And I prefer the blood of the innocent. Can you define innocent for me, sir? Children's blood. And they made the deal. They made the damn deal. It's why they gave us this fake number about it's 400,000 missing children. Really? Really? You think it's only 400,000 missing children? You think it's only 400,000 missing children? Really? Hold on. Here we go. So when you hear people talking about Comey and Clapper, understand that you fighting a body. I call it the dark body. This is the kind of stuff I wouldn't talk about prior to, moving away from the paranormal field. Because quite frankly, the little paranormal cryptid field, all they're going to do is steal. Like even what I'm telling you right now, they got like these overweight guys that be like beating on the table. I'm the only Christian in the theater. Yeah. And they're going to come over and they're going to steal what I'm saying. Then they'll sit up there and tell some fake story about the majestic body of the controllers that come in and control. But they don't do no damn research. And don't put their lives at risk asking questions, getting on the phone. But I need you to understand, you see, we not just playing chess against Comey, Clapper, Brennan, Hillary Clinton, what's your boy's name? Tim Walz. We're not just playing. This game is not just against them. This game is against those who truly support them. Those who are behind Comey, Clapper, Brennan. And it ain't all humans, man. It ain't all humans.
General Clapper, the former DNI in the documentary. I certainly applaud him for at least speaking out in general. He goes on, I believe, I've only seen clips of Age of Disclosure, not the whole thing, where there was a program when he was the director of national intelligence where they were tracking these vehicles over Area 51, of course, the famed classified test location. And I'm a little bit disappointed as a fellow Air Force officer, and certainly General Clapper rose to the ranks as 3-star general. That's all he said in the documentary, that was a program he was aware of. In fact, without being inappropriate, I will say that General Clapper was well aware of the crash retrieval issue, managed the crash retrieval issue, and when he was the DNI, USDI, and DIA director, he placed people in critical roles to manage this issue, both publicly and I'll just say non-publicly as well. And I'll allow the audience distill what I'm saying at the risk of being inappropriate or going too far with my discussion. So General Clapper, Stephanie O'Sullivan, other folks in the IC that are well aware of this issue, that were in rooms discussing this issue, I ask you to be greater leaders on this. I should not be the only former military officer and intelligence official that is being completely candid with the information that they were exposed to. So perhaps
and once again, James Clapper understates what he knows and what he's done.
And people never consider this. What the hell make the deep state the deep state? Nobody ever considered this. Oh man, we got to go to war with the deep state. What make them the deep state? Why are they called deep? I'm gonna let that sink in for you. What make the deep state the damn deep state, man? You think it's just because they all got a network of people? Oh yeah, the deep state's been there because they're the swamp. What made it the damn swamp? What makes it the swamp? What muscle does the swamp actually have? What power does the swamp actually have that all these damn people is terrified? Well, they got money and they got the ability to track you and they got this. Yeah. What was the impetus of all that crap? The guy just talked about it. Talked about the UFOs crashing. You see, this is why, I love to talk about the strange and weird stuff, but it just gets under my skin, because then you inevitably get to the point to where it's not safe for you to talk about something. It's not even wise for you to go any further, because the people who know what you're talking about like listening to you, and then people who don't know that you know what you're talking about gonna say you don't know what you're talking about, and it's no profit in it, because you're never gonna get the support of people as you go out to try and bring the truth. And at the end of the day, the people who know the truth, they all about this blucka. But if you sell out to them, then they won't blucka you, but now you're sold out. That's the actual reality of a real paranormal researcher, when you get your hands on real information. And the deeper reality is this, because the people who are involved in this kind of niche field are so rabid, because it's a religion. It is UFOs. It's its own religion with sub-religions, Greys, tall whites, CERN and portals. All those are like sub-religions. Because it's so cult-like in its religious nature, they know, like Brennan, Comey, and Clapper knows, that they can stir up and gin up the cult to attack. It's what you will see and what you have been seeing going on with Tim Burchett and everybody else that's been trying to bring you truth. Anyway, let me move on to the next part of this. Now, if you just want to keep it real and you want to see what kind of alien technology we got, all you got to do is go look at DARPA. The craziest thing about DARPA is DARPA don't hide nothing. They just know that the average person won't go do the research. So they don't have to hide nothing. They just be telling you the stuff. Now, I'm pretty sure they don't tell you all the most advanced stuff, but they tell you enough to draw conclusions. They tell you all kind of stuff. But nobody goes over there. When I went through the late night videos, and I would go to the DARPA website and I would pull up videos of DARPA challenges. Like right now they got the triage challenge going on, where a robot goes in and does triage for soldiers, right? I've been watching that to see who wins it, so I can figure out where the contract goes for the funding, so I can see if I can get some money in there. But if you go look at these videos, it's 3,100, 800 views. Nobody interested. Because nobody truly is interested in the truth. What people are interested in is the journey to truth. That's why Candace Owens is so popular, because that bitch ain't telling nobody nothing that's true. In fact, anybody who has some common sense at this point in time can confidently say that woman hates Charlie Kirk because of what she doing. She absolutely hated Charlie Kirk. You don't tear down a man's legacy if you love him. Point blank, period. Not using him as the tool to tear it down. Oh, I want to find out what happened to Charlie Kirk, and Turning Point USA is involved, and I'm asking questions about Turning Point USA, and I'm asking questions about his wife, and I'm asking questions about this and that and this, and all I'm doing is asking questions. But then this whole mob of people goes crazy. That bitch hate Charlie Kirk. But see, that's indicative of how cults work, how the religions work. Nobody cares about truth. You could present them truth. The truth could be sitting in front of their face in the golden chalice with the cup it's running over. And they'll go over to this old rusty lead cup filled with dirty, filthy poop water and drink it. Got me some of this dirty truth and just running down their face like this. Because the truth got to be complicated. Another thing. Has anyone ever considered that everybody talks about, well, the CIA came up with the term conspiracy theory, right? When everybody says that, they think it's the CIA came up with that term to label people who thought outside of the box conspiracy theorists. No, they coined conspiracy theories, meaning we came up with the concept and idea of a conspiracy theory. We came up with the invention of the conspiracy theory because It is a weapon. It's not the truth. It is a damn a Barrett 50 cal sniper rifle is what conspiracy theory is. Don't believe me? Just watch. What was the number one thing that they tried to ban people for on YouTube? Because they said they were conspiracy theorists. Well, DW, I don't get what you're saying. You don't get what I'm saying because you ain't with me. You create a thing called conspiracy theory. You label it. Anytime you label a thing, that thing is a product. For example, this is called magnesium glyphosate. See that? See that way it said magnesium glyphosate? That's a damn product. The minute they label this and put a branding on it, they had intentions to use it. How did they use the product that's conspiracy theory? They use it to confuse everybody and bundle everybody into a group and gather them together like a giant damn herd in order to censor them. How are they using it right now? Now they're using that entire damn group as a group that they can feed information to and distract. They use it as a group of people who waste and squander their lives not paying attention to the truth of life. And more importantly, it's a way of loading people, loading personalities, loading wit, loading intelligence, human intelligence. This is how you know they're dealing with other world intelligences or interdimensional beings who have interdimensional intelligence, because only they will look at a human being as an object that is to be truly controlled like a bullet, and then load everybody into a magazine called a magazine that goes into the gun called conspiracy theory, then turn around and shoot everybody else with it. Brrr, 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 brrr. Y'all ain't with what I'm saying. See, this is why I don't really be going deep. GW, how do you come to these conclusions? Because I was in the heart of it. I was in the underbelly of it. I took the phone calls from individuals, real phone calls, my real phone number. Hello, this is James. Yeah, my name is Greg, and I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. And Mr. Williams, I saw something last night and I'm not sure what it was. Okay, well, tell me about it. Then a grown ass man started crying on the phone. You like, hold on. Then the next 5 minutes, another call, crying on the phone. Hold on, there might be some truth to this. There might be some truth to this. And then you compare the actual emotional manifestations of trauma on the phone to the hardcore, rigid, military precision like narratives that you get from police officers and people who say they was in the military, or people who say they were contractors. I'm gonna stop right there. And you realize that the pyramid they talk about is upside down. No. It's gonna be that grandma. Matter of fact, watch this. I'm gonna show you one of the grandmas. These are the type of damn people that you get the truth from. You don't get the truth from the damn government. They ain't gonna give you the truth. This is the type of people you're gonna get the truth from. People just like this. Little old lady who's seen some stuff. Little old man who's seen some stuff. And here's the other thing about getting the truth. I might as well say it. That little old lady don't just talk to you just to talk to you. That old man that's seen some stuff don't talk to you just to talk to you. You see, there's some truths you have to go to get to the real truth. You got to go out and convince people that you okay, that you a nice person, that you not the government, that you not the tax man, that you not the FBI. And that takes months. Then they tell you the truth. Then they tell you things that Congress and Senate know or want to know. Then they explain to you things that you quite frankly don't want to know. This is coming from a real researcher Really did it. Anybody who been with me, y'all, the people who been with Dog Water since Dog Water started, tell these people what I'm talking that I know what the hell I'm talking about. That's why when I look at all this, it's just like, yo, all this shit is a game, dog. It's all a game. If Anna Paula Luna and all the rest of these people really wanted the truth and they wanted to force out the truth, all they got to do is just take a damn road trip in a vehicle and go from state to state to state to state to state to state and have open houses and let people talk. You're going to get videos. You're going to get Ring doorbell camera videos. You're going to get damn near everything you need from the people in them little bitty small towns. We want the government to disclose the UFOs and the aliens. We want disclosure now, Dark Waters. You don't understand it. The government ain't disclosing shit to you that you're going to be able to use. Because they have agreements. And the agreement is way more important than your nosy behind. Trust me, I know. There are agreements. And they ain't violating them agreements because there is no penalty that you can make them people pay that's higher than the penalty that the entity that they have the agreements with is going to make them pay. It's the stupidest shit on the planet. But let's talk about UFOs.
Well, this was one ordinary day. I was waiting for my husband to come home from work, and my two sons went to Cypher to school, and I was getting changed, and I heard this terrific noise. It was just like a giant cauldron of water being poured onto a fire, a shh sort of noise, you know. And the first reaction was, oh, the children. I thought maybe a plane was crashing or something like that. And I slipped my jumper on and went outside to find my two sons lying flat on the ground in the garden in front of the house, shouting, "Mummy, Mummy, there's a flying saucer." Well, naturally, I just said, "Come on, don't be stupid. Come in the house." But felt sort of a strange sensation. Wended my way up the side of the house to where we had a pump where we used to get all our water from, and automatically looked up to see this, all I can describe, this huge Mexican hat. It was stationary, this thing, and it was bright silver in colour, and it had a dome. It was tilted to sort of, I could see the occupants in it.
You saw people in it?
I saw people in it. There were two people in there. These people were beautiful people. That's the only way I can describe them. They had long golden hair, like a page boy bob, just like the old kings. You used to see photographs of the old kings. And the colour of the hair was golden. Now, I was really...
What were they dressed in?
They had a sort of a polo neck jumper affair, like a ski top suit, in pale blue. Now, these people weren't sat behind, one behind the other. They were sat together, but this, whatever it was tilted so that I could see them and they could see me.
Were you looking at them through windows, through portholes? Or
no, not portholes. It was just sort of like a cockpit, I suppose. But I had this perspex or glass or whatever it was. They could see me anyway, and I could see them. And they had beautiful faces. I shall never forget their faces as long as I live.
Yeah, of course, when I start talking about this crap, my internet starts to freeze. Of course, when I start talking about this, my internet. But I'm just going to keep it real with you. Because ain't nobody out here going to keep it real with you. Everybody going to lead you into some foolishness. Everybody going to lead you to the foolishness. It's just... quite frankly, it's disgusting. It really is. It's absolutely disgusting. This concept and idea that the individuals who have agreements with off-world entities, fallen angels, lizard people, you can call it whatever the hell you want, aliens, that they're going to violate those aliens, agreements with aliens for technology in any way, shape, or form just to satisfy your curiosity. that they're going to allow those agreements to be violated to satisfy your curiosity. This is why the conspiracy theories are never-ending hole that lead you in the wrong direction. You like, oh, I want to know about aliens. Your ass is an alien, bro. You are an alien. Read the Bible. You are alien. You are not of this world. That's the honest to God truth of it. Read your Bible. It explains to you that you are an alien. You are not of this world. It explains to you that you got damn superpowers, but you don't know how to use the superpowers because you ain't never been taught to try and figure out how to use your superpowers. Why? Because they want you to not learn how to use your superpowers, to watch movies where people fly around with superpowers, where there are human beings who understand that they are aliens biblically and do fantastic, crazy things. But they want you to spend your time on this earth pursuing BS so you never ever get to the point to where you know the real truth. And that's, people ask me, DW, why you stop doing encrypted videos? Why you don't? Because this is why. Because I'm not going to be the one who leads you down the road to wasting your life, being a time waster for you. Because I would have to account for that in heaven, that I was a tool to be a waster of time. That's why when I was in the cryptid field, I was always pointing to Jesus, talking about Jesus, because I was trying not to be a time waster. But you get to the point to where there's this impasse. You know what the truth is. You can't tell people the truth because they won't believe the truth. You can't share the truth with people because all the people who were inspired by you, now they want to be you, and they think that they want that seat on the mountain, not knowing what it took to get to that seat on the mountain and the agreements it takes to stay on that top of that mountain. And then they're like, oh, I want that spot and we're going to get them. Okay, take it. Because there's this great catechism, this great leap that you got to make that's impossible to leap and make if you have any consciousness. You got to sit there and say, okay, I know that this is distracting people. I know that this is leading people away from Jesus. And if I keep doing it, it's going to destroy them. They'll spend 20 years of their life. I've been researching cryptids for 20 years. DW, you don't know what you're talking about. I've been researching aliens for 35 years. Oh, really? For 35 years, you've been researching something and you ain't came to no conclusion. Oh, really? Do you guys understand what I'm saying to you? For 35 years, we've been trying to get Congress to give us files on aliens and this, and we're trying to get to the truth for 35 years. For 50 years, since the crash of Roswell, I'm trying to get to the truth. No, you being led astray, dog. Your whole life is being wasted. Every gift, every talent, every ability that God gave you has been hijacked and taken in a different direction. That's the truth of the matter. Wablammo. And you only get to that truth by going underneath the mud of the swamp. By submerging yourself in a mud bath, laying like this, with creatures crawling all over you, looking around, trying to figure out what's going on. By building a boat in the swamp from the wood, from the trees, and then building a paddle and pushing yourself through the mud, looking around. That's how you come to that realization. That's how you come to the understanding that, hey, it don't matter. We'll talk about it because everybody's fascinated by it. But I'll talk to you about it, but I'm going to tell your ass the truth, man. And that's the truth. It's a waste of your damn time. Here they are explaining that the semiconductors came from aliens. No crap. If you go back and look after the Roswell crashing, there was an explosion in technology. Of course, it came from interdimensional beings or advanced civilizations that are not off this planet, that are of this planet. From inside of the earth, they're inside of the water. Of course, it came from them. Of course, they did a deal. And now you got a cell phone. It's why I called the World Economic Forum lizard people.
We're on the National Mall at the National Academy of Sciences, where it was National Space Week. And there were some presenters from around the world, and that also included a representative from the Chinese government, or presumably it's CCK. And the presentation that they were putting up included requests for, we want to work with people on, I believe it was space-time metric engineering, it was gravitational control, and it was also alien life off planet, amongst other things like renewables. So the Chinese are literally coming down to the National Mall and saying, hi, come talk to us about this. What I have, though, on from a very credible source was that, yes, there are people who say that this came out of the UAP programs when we talk about lasers and semiconductors. And that was so important. You know, semiconductors, the top 10 companies today, a $6.5 trillion industry that we all benefit from and underpins our global economy. That is something that it's not just, oh, maybe we'll get something. It's that there are tremendous people who have built things, you know, both in classified and unclassified environments. And that's been, you know, put out by so many authors and people in the news, but some are in environments that we can say this is taken seriously, and those people have told the government that, yes, there's been real advantage on some of these most important core technologies from coming from crash retrievals.
Of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt that there's value to partnering with, stealing from, warring against advanced intelligences. There's no doubt there is. The whole point I'm making to you is this cottage industry of UFO, UAP, and I'm telling you this because I love you. When you love somebody, you tell them the truth. And at the end of the day, when I'm sitting there talking to Jesus, I'm be like, hey man, listen, my Lord, you asked me to do certain things, I did it. I just want to make sure me and you good. You know what I'm saying? My Lord, I'm just making sure we're on the same page because you asked me to tell the truth, I told the truth. I want him to be like, yeah, no, you told the truth, Jay. We good. Okay. Here's the truth of the matter. And I've said this over and over and over. There's knowledge that is, in fact, make it even better for this. The knowledge of UFOs, the knowledge that you got when you went to school, the knowledge that you got of how to build the house, those are knowledges that build houses on your soul. The knowledge and knowings that you need to have is the knowledge and knowings of revelation of the Spirit of God. It's how you get your videos every day. Because it's like, James, yes, my Lord, what you doing? I'm making breakfast. I thought you said you was going to do this. All right, I'll turn this off. What you want to do? And then I'll do what I need to do. This knowledge that's being presented to you is knowledge that's going to build a house on your soul. Imagine your soul as fertile soil. This UFO UAP is they building a concrete foundation. Then they start framing it up. And then some of y'all got little shacks on your soul about this. Then other guys, they got mansions on their soul. And there's so many rooms in their mansions on their soul as it pertains to this issue. But at the end of the day, the truth is already right in front of you. All right, I'm done with this video. If you like it, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the like button. I don't care how you feel about it. Hit the like button. You heard me?